like David Parker now.
Well, I'm very grateful when people do this because I've got a memory like one of those metal things with holes in them. Oh, that's an old joke, isn't it? Sound like my dad.
I don't have the duck, eh?
That's true. Yeah. Okay. If you didn't answer one, can you put your hands up, guys? If you didn't answer a group 1 verb transformation, can you put your hands up? Put your little blue hand up if you would, please. Thank you. Max, we can watch you. We can watch you eating. It's like going to the zoo.
Just for you. Just for you.
Thank you.
I've seen him eat before.
He's like a truck eating a lamppost. Okay, let's go back to that screen. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, sorry, kugu. So we did kaku, kakimasu, to write becomes kaite, or yogu or yogimasu becomes oyoide. Good. Just resize the window slightly so I can see more of you. Su is a singular exclusive one. So su is completely removed and becomes shite. So our example verb is osu, oshimasu. So if we want to turn that into the imperative, so let me ask Kim, how would you say, please push this door? Please push this door.
The door, what was that again?
Thankfully, in Japanese, door is door.
Door.
Yeah. Door.
このドアを押してください。
Brilliant. このドアを押してください. It's always good to say it like you sound like a British person from outside London. Door. Door.
Door.
このドアを押してください. Great. Thanks, Kim. Well done. Okay. And then the final group, this group marked out with in purple, this one here, the ones ending with nu, bu, and mu, these all turn into unde. So you have to visualize removing the final syllable, the nu, the bu, and the mu, and putting unde on the end. So Luke, how would you say, how would you ask or command somebody, which is what you can do with the imperative, how would you say, die tomorrow? Die tomorrow.
Please, or just
in your own style.
明日に死んでください.
Yeah, so you can just say ashita by itself. You don't have to put ni.
Can you just say 死んで?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's asking somebody to do it and telling them to die is probably something similar, really. Ashita shinde kudasai. Ashita shinde. Good. Thanks, Luke.
As soon as possible.
Yeah. Alessio, do you have a question? No?
Yes, please.
Dozo.
Is the T form of yobu and yomu are the same? Are yonde both?
Exactly. Yes, they are exactly this. They are exactly the same. In fact, you're now going to answer this now that you're unmuted. How would you say, please call me tomorrow? Please call me tomorrow.
To me?
Yes.
Sorry.
Alessio.
Yes. So, yonde kudasai.
Yeah. How would you say to me?
Yes. Ashita yonde kudasai.
Good. Yeah. Ashita yonde kudasai. If you wanted to make it clear, you could say ashita watashi o yonde kudasai. You could say this, but if you say simply yonde kudasai, it would be understood unless you were talking about somebody else, of course. So yeah, ashita yonde kudasai. Great. Thanks, Alessio. Well done.
Thank you.
And sorry, I'm getting Facebook messages at the same time. Aga, how would you say, please read that book next week? Please read that book next week.
来週この本を読んでください.
So that's this book, but how would you say that book?
来週あの本を読んでください.
Okay, nearly there. So that's that book over there. But what about that book that's with you?
来週そのこの本にこの来週
Good, yeah.
その本を読んでください.
Excellent. Yes. 来週 sono hon o yonde kudasai. Good. Thanks, Saga. Yeah, so I think as Alessio has just highlighted, the imperative for yobu and yomu is the same. These are both yonde, yonde. But by the context, you would know which one it was. You could say, wait, if you said hon or yonde kudasai, then it's quite clear that you're talking about reading a book rather than calling the book. So it should be fairly self-indicating. Okay, so this is really all of the rules for changing group 1 verbs into the imperative. And this is probably one of the hardest parts of Japanese grammar. So if you can memorize these 4 rules, then that's the hardest part of Japanese grammar done. There is nothing more complicated or more voluminous than learning the transformation of group 1 verbs. That is the
Are there
hardest.
only 3 groups, Andy?
4.
Or 4 groups of verbs in total?
Oh, sorry. So there's 3 major groups. There's the group 3, which is the shite, kite, the group 2 regular, taberu, and then the group 1 that actually in formal Japanese grammar that Japanese school children learn, there are 8, I think, but 4 of those rather, are these 4 transformations of the group 1 verb. So for people who are learning Japanese as a foreign language, they group these 4 into group 1. And if you can just memorize these transformations, honestly, the rest of Japanese grammar is easy. This is the hardest bit. So what I would suggest, guys, is if you these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are 9 fairly common verbs. If you were to learn these ones and memorize them, then you can take any group 1 verb and transform it. You can choose other ones. So for example, another group 1 verb which you already know if you do Iaido is let me just now do a test of the Iaido knowledge. Al, what's the word for when the direction of a sword when it's in your obi? What's this word in Iaido called?
Sashinari.
Sashinari, yes. So the word sashi means to put something in your obi. Maybe you can remember this as being put it in your sash, sashi. Or it also means to stab somebody. It's actually the same character. So when you put the sword in the obi, it looks like you're stabbing yourself. This is sashi, sashimasu, sashimasu. It's a group 1 verb. So the infinitive would be, Annika? What would be the infinitive of sashi?
Sasamas?
No.
No? Okay. No.
So look at the chart. This is sashimas. Yeah. So sashi is the mass form. So the infinitive must
be sasu.
Sasu. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sasu. Good. Sashimas. So you already know this. This is for the su endings. You already know one of these verbs without having to look at bits of paper. You know sashinari, sashi. Sashi. Okay. And in fact, nari, which we won't do today, but nari is also a group 1 verb. Nari or naru means to become or to be like something. Naru, narimasu, natte. So here's another Japanese verb that you already have memorized in your heads. Nagasu. Kata number 3, uke nagashi. Uke nagashi. This is 2 words. Ukeru, which is a group 2 verb. Ukemasu, to receive something. And nagasu, meaning to let flow. Nagasu. Nagasu becomes nagashimasu. So nagashi, if I wanted to say, please deflect or please flow off, I would say, Andre, how would I turn please flow?
Please flow?
Yes, or please deflect or something like this. How would you turn nagasu into the imperative?
Nagashite kudasai.
Yeah, exactly. Nagashite kudasai. Nagashite. Exactly this. Nagashite. So you already have at your hands, in the tops of your heads, you already have these group 1 verbs that you can refer back to see how they transform. What else? Shinu, yobu, yomu, not
Andy?
so many. Ah, yeah, komimasu. Go ahead, Tom.
So I learned this from you. So when we say usio ni torimasu, when we go back behind some person, when I check the torimasu, I make it to toru. It's
Yes,
correct.
good.
And then
Yep.
for it's the like kairu,
Yes.
torite,
Tote, tote.
tote.
Yeah, because in kairimasu, this becomes kaite, doesn't it? So the ru at the end completely disappears and is replaced with te. So tote means to pass. To pass something would be toru. To pass something would be tote. Tote kudasai. Tote kudasai. Yeah.
Toru.
Yeah, good. Toru. Yeah. Good stuff. In fact, I've just thought of another word which you already know in Japanese. So you've all heard of fumikomi, haven't you? Fumikomi, to step in. Fumikomi. Both of these are group 1 verbs finishing with mu. Fumu means to step, and komu means to approach or invade. Fumikomi. So the fact that the mu gets transformed into mi means it's a group 1 verb. It has to. So fumikonde means step in.
踏み込んでください。
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fumikonde kudasai. Yeah.
流してください。
Nagashite. In fact, lots of the kata in Iaido are just verbs. They're just verbs. So kesagiri, giri is kiri. It's just been softened because it's a compound word. Kiri is kiru. So if kiru becomes kiri, it must be a group 1 verb. Kesagiri. Morote zuki. Well, the verb to thrust is tsuku. So it becomes tsuki. Skimas. Morote zuki. Skimas. Sample giri is again kiri. Gamen atte. Gamen atte. Ateru is to strike. Ateru. And this must be a group 2 verb because the cutting off is ate. Gamen ate. Soeta zuki again is ski. Sample giri is kiri. Sogiri kiri. Nuki uchi. Nuki uchi. Here's 2 group 1 verbs stuck together. Nuku, meaning to withdraw or to draw. Nuku. And uchi, which is utsu. Utsu. So utsu becomes uchimasu. Utte is the imperative. Again, it's a group 1 verb. I know I'm just throwing lots of verbs out here. You don't have to remember all of them. You just need to remember one of each group. If you memorize these ones we've got on the screen now, then this will be a massive step forward and you will be able to make transformations really easily. Okay, as I've said at the bottom here, practice and learn by remembering one example of each. And this will be easy, easy peasy. Okay, I'd like to finish the formal lesson now, guys. So let me stop sharing a second so I can see your beautiful faces. So let's just quickly remember what we did today. So we turned all of the mass form verbs into the past and the negative. And so we did ikimasu, ikimasen, I will go, I won't go, ikimashita, I went, ikimasen deshita, I didn't go. And we also, I think a little bit, we did, won't you go with me, ikimasenka, by simply using the negative and putting it into a question. We can turn a question into an invitation. Tabemasenka? Won't you eat it? Kono sushi o tabemasenka? So this is a nice soft way of asking somebody to do something. But if we're going to ask in a little bit more grammatically correct way, if we want to make the imperative to ask a request, to do a request, or to order somebody to do something, we need to use the te form. Group 2 verbs are really easy. Knock off the end, put te on the end. Group 3 verbs are also really easy. Take the mass form, take off mass, put te on the end. And then we've got these 4 ways of transforming the group 1 verbs. If you just remember an example from each, then here we are. You will be on a much shorter road actually to speaking really good Japanese. In fact, between us, I can say that there are people who lived in Japan that you know who still haven't mastered the te form because it's not something you can pick up just by having conversations with people. You have to study it and learn these rules. But then it's easy. It's then really easy. And with practice, it will become very natural as well. Okay, let me ask you if you can all unmute yourselves for a second. Okay, any questions, guys, or any problems? Anything you're not sure about, we can do now. Don't be shy. Good, all perfectly understood. Excellent.
Why? Sorry to say. Why group 1 is regular verbs? It seems irregular. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a good question. If I very quickly just share the screen one more time with you. The reason is just move this. It's whether or not the stem changes. So in group 1 and group 2 verbs, this stem at the beginning, this a and ka and o and ma and she and yo, this remains the same. So this is why it's called regular. But in cling cling, in group 3 verbs, even the stem changes. And there's a few. The other thing, Alessio, is that when we come to saying things like please don't do this, so please don't do this, the group 1 and group 2 verbs are converted in a very regular way, in a very consistent way. But group 3 verbs, again, the entire word changes. So for example, if I said please don't go, you don't have to remember this now, but you can hear the difference. If I said please don't go, I would say ikanaide kudasai. Ikanaide kudasai. If I say please don't cut, I would say kiranaide kudasai. Kiranaide kudasai. So you can probably already hear at the end there's this anaide. Ikanaide. Kiranaide kudasai. Group 2 verbs are the same. Tabenaide kudasai. Tabenaide kudasai. Minaide kudasai. But for kimas, don't come, I have to say konaide kudasai. Konai. So it's not even ku, it's not even ki, it's ko. So it's completely different. But suru, to say please don't do, is shinaide kudasai. So it's the 2 verbs work completely differently, and that's why it's irregular. But there's only 2 of them, so we will learn these just through practice and memory. So don't worry too much. We will
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Great. Any other questions, guys, before you go off and enjoy your Thursday evenings, drinking wine and watching the rain fall down? No. Good. Okay. Thanks for your time, guys. Please read the Please read the document that's on Facebook. It will just help to reinforce that understanding of group 1 verbs. And I look forward to seeing you at the next session.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Matane.
Bye.
Matane.
Bye.
Kiyosuke.
Matane.
Ken, Andy.
Mata.